What up, and welcome to the 901 Bets. Think of this as sports betting for dummies right here in Memphis. Before we get rolling, let's throw up that disclaimer. And folks, if gambling has become a problem, hit that Tennessee gambling hotline. That number right on your screen, 800-889-9789. Now, let's jump in. I want to start calling these portions where I describe betting terms bankroll basics. So let's break down a term you'll hear a lot in betting, the hedge. A hedge is when you make a second bet against your original play to protect yourself from losing everything. Think of it like insurance for your bankroll. Here's an example. Let's say you bet on the Memphis Tigers to win the AAC right now at the start of the season. Let's just say those were plus 500 odds. Months later, the Tigers are in the championship game. Now, instead of sweating it out, you can hedge by betting on their opponent. Yes, bet on their opponent. But if Memphis wins big, you still get the big cash. Now, if they lose, your hedge that you just did softens the blow because you still walk away with something. Remember what Denzel Washington said? I'm leaving here with something. Now, another everyday example. Let's say you bet on the Grizzlies to win a game and it's at plus 200 odds. Now, late in the fourth, Memphis is up big. You could hedge by live betting the other team at plus money. Either way, you've got yourself covered. Bottom line, hedging doesn't maximize your profit, but it does minimize risk. It's all about protecting that bankroll, and like Denzel said, I'm leaving here with something. Now that we're at the point in the year where our area teams are playing, I'd like to introduce you all to Bluff City Lines. And first, we're looking at Memphis football's matchup against Chattanooga on Saturday. First, the spread is sitting at 27.5. I'm rolling with the Tigers to cover that big number. That's basically 4 touchdowns. Yeah, I know. Their offense, I think they'll just simply be too much for Chattanooga to keep pace because, Chattanooga's FCS. They're not even in the same league as Memphis. Come on now. But when it comes to that total, that number is 55.5. Now remember, with the total, it doesn't matter who wins or loses. It's about the total points. I think I'm going to go the under. I think Memphis controls the game for sure. The defense locks in. And Chattanooga, they won't put too much on the board where, Silverfield might just call off the dogs and they're just kind of getting the kinks out. So I don't think they hit that 55.5 number. And one more play for Saturday, Ole Miss laying 34.5 against Georgia State. Now, I know we said earlier, these SEC teams, they like to whoop off on teams in week one, especially because they're like nobodies. Well, I'm taking Georgia State to cover. Ole Miss is explosive, no doubt, but that's a huge spread against a scrappy Panther squad. As Steven told you, they're going to know how to hang around. They got a couple of guys from the transfer portal. So to recap, people, I like Memphis to cover under 55.5 in that same game, and I like Georgia State plus the points against Ole Miss. That's a wrap for, actually, let's talk futures for a second. I want to start calling this ahead of the line. Now, I'm riding with Joe Burrow to throw for over 4,500 yards this season. Here's why. Burrow's healthy. He's got one of the best receivers in the game in Jamar Chase and plenty of other options to spread the ball around. We know when the Bengals let him air it out, he can pile up yards fast. But the real kicker for me, that defense, PU. I don't think Cincinnati's defense is going to be very good this year. I know they just signed Trey Hendrickson, and now they finally got the first-round pick signing his contract. Doesn't mean anything to me because I think the defense is going to give more snaps for the offense, more dropbacks for Burrow, more chances for him to rack up big numbers. And if the Bengals fall behind in the games because, I don't think the defense will be good, that's not the worst thing for this bet. Burrow will be slinging it in those catch-up modes, and those passing yards still count the same. You can find this play at just about any sports book. Doesn't matter where you bet. The number's out there. For me, I'm rolling with Burrow to clear that 4,500-yard mark. All right, let's check out a play one of our viewers sent in, my friend Tamia. We'll call this aspect of the program Bets from Bill. It's a two-leg parlay, and what they sent me, Kyler Murray over 25.5 rushing yards against the Saints, and Seattle Seahawks running back Kenneth Walker over 12.5 receiving yards against the 49ers. Let's start with Kyler. He's always a threat with his legs, and with the Saints pass rush, I actually like his chances to take off a few times. Quarterbacks scrambling against pressure usually means chunk rushing yards, and 25.5, that's not really a huge number. I can see him easily clearing that. Now, Kenneth Walker, that's the tricky part. He's not heavily involved in the passing game. Seattle usually keeps him between the tackles. 12.5 doesn't sound like a lot, and it really only takes one catch to hit it, but the question is whether he gets the target, especially against San Francisco's defense. Backs don't always see many passing opportunities. So overall, I call this parlay risky, but not crazy. Yes, hit that Kyler over with his legs, but just not too confident in Walker's receiving role, especially against that 49ers defense. If I had to predict it, I'd say Murray gets home, Walker comes up short, so I don't see both legs cashing. And just a reminder, folks, this content is for entertainment purposes only. ABC 24 and its affiliates do not encourage gambling. Viewer discretion is advised. Any betting decisions you make are solely your responsibility. We are not responsible for any financial losses or wins resulting from information presented on this program. So as I always say, do not send me your hate. If you hit, congratulations. If you don't, I'm sorry. Time for a quick break. We're back after this.